Okay, here we are. Here we are once again. And I'm really excited about today because joining me is Arthur Dang, our special programs manager over here at Sales and Orders. Arthur, how you doing, bud?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm exhausted. I did not sleep the best last night. I can see you did. You look beautiful. Your hair looks great. Your face looks great. You look clean. You look fresh. I don't feel so great today, but I'm all right. Um,
Some coffee, man. Some coffee will
Yeah,
work.
yeah. I haven't.
Yes.
I have not gotten to have my coffee yet. I'm just. I'm drinking a little bit of water right now. Just no coffee. It's brewing though, so I'm gonna have to go get a cup in a little while. Arthur, how you
Yes.
doing, man? How's everything going on over there? Oh. By the way, so if anybody doesn't know, obviously, because you probably don't, but Arthur, your wife is one of our frontline fighters during this crazy pandemic going on right now, right?
That is correct. She is a respiratory therapist manager over at St. Mary's
Oh
Children's
wow.
Hospital.
So
Um,
she's like really on the front line.
yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, she's a champion in her own respect. She's doing great things, and a big shout out to St. Mary's Children's Hospital.
Big
They're
shout out.
doing great things, and they continue to do great things. So, it's been working well so far.
Awesome.
With her.
Awesome. Now that must be, I mean, for you, um, like just before we really get into everything, like tell me what it's like being at home. Obviously, I guess there must be she's taking very different precautionary measures. I know you have twins, right? That's right. Yeah, twins, right? Tell me a little bit about what's going on right now. Just kind of like tell me what's going on with how that dynamic works.
It's been a little bit stressful, right? Just because we know the risk involved, and she's not going to abandon her post, obviously, right? Uh,
Right.
so for the most part, we've been trying to juggle things, and it's working well so far because the twins are not as crazy as they used to be, and they're more independent and they're playing really well. So I'm able to do my job, sufficiently, and
Awesome.
we're
Yep, I
working
see.
well.
We got one walking around in the background there. I love it.
They're playing right there, so that's perfect. So
Such is life now, right?
yeah, I mean, and for the most part, I mean, I've gotten a chance to really build a stronger bond with the two, so it's been really fun. I've been trying to teach them things, and overall, I love the experience in that sense. But like I said, it can get stressful sometimes, but we're holding up pretty strong here.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to
Thank
hear
you.
that.
Yeah.
Now, Arthur, as the special programs manager, which and just to give you a little background here, now you work primarily with a lot of our agencies, but you also help onboard users and customers to some of our beta program initiatives here. Um, Obviously, not something that you necessarily would hear about, necessarily a special programs manager, at a at a tech firm like ours. Um, but in your role and how you kind of split your time between these beta program offerings, and of course you're still an enterprise account manager as well, and then you also work with many of our agency partners over here at Sales and Orders, right?
That is correct.
What is that dynamic like? Like, what is it like working with our agency partners?
I love it, right? Because the agencies they go on board to our platform because they're reliant on us and our expertise in the shopping space.
Yep.
So when we onboard an agency and a merchant, the merchants will have an idea like, yes, it's a dual agency, right? So what I mean by that is the agency is relying on our expertise, and the agency will continue to do their marketing aspects of whatever they're handling via the merchant. So in that
Right,
regard, the
because they
merchant,
might specialize in SEO or
correct.
content marketing or something like that, so they're heavy reliant on our technology. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. So in my experience, the merchant overall would have a better experience, right, and better, probably a stronger loyalty and a stronger relationship to their agency because they understand that the agency has their best interests at heart, and that's why they lean on us for the shopping space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, of course. Um, Now, when all this hit, when all this happened, and everything, obviously, there was we've had to start working. We've been working from home for a month and change now. What kind of, I don't really like that. What kind of response did you get from a lot of the agents? Like, what were agencies saying when all this hit, and what was some of the things they were asking you primarily?
Well, thankfully, the relationships that I have with some of these agencies, the first thing they ask me is like, "Hey, Arthur, how's your family? Stay safe. We
Oh,
understand."
nice,
That was
nice.
it. Nothing work related. So I was like, "Oh wow, this is a true partnership, and that's what that relationship between us and the agency should be, right?" So I valued that. But the next question, as you know, would say, "Hey, how do we dial in now? Because trouble is coming, right? We
Yep.
need to roll up our sleeves, and what do you propose on the shopping side?"
Mm-hmm.
So that was the main concern was, hey, is there anything that we can do to ensure that these merchants, their cash flow continues to stream, right? Because that's the
Yeah,
most
of course.
important aspect of a merchant's business, and that's what been trying to tackle. So our strategies have been working so far, and I know that you've had conversations with our other specialists, and more or less it's the same. It's the same type of metrics. It's just that these agencies are now. What I'm hearing is that a lot of merchants are tightening up their budgets,
Yep.
right? On the shopping side, they haven't cut anything on that respect, but other forms of marketing like video media and all that good stuff subsequently has to be cut because it's not part of the merchant's budget. So that's what
Yep.
I've been hearing a lot of, and they're struggling in that regard.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's the general consensus across the board is that when this all hit, there was, as I've been saying with everybody, it's like kind of the shock point in a way where many merchants across and all advertisers. I mean, Amazon stopped advertising on Google, and that's what's most interesting. I think what a lot of retailers don't know is a lot of the impact that occurred in the search engine marketing space, a lot of that all kind of stemmed from larger big brand retailers cutting a lot of their budgets or potentially just stopping their advertising altogether, which caused some interesting fluctuations in the market. It caused CPCs to drop down drastically. But what we noticed was that the click and impression volume almost didn't change at all. In fact, click and impression volume continued to go up,
Right.
which is pretty substantial. But it's really nice that when the first thing that the agencies asked was how you doing, buddy? How's everything going?
Right. I mean,
We're all
that's
people. We're all humans here.
correct. Correct. And I value that. You know me. I mean, I'm all about the culture here at Sales and Orders, and when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, wow, I love that. So I'm going to continue to hone in on those relationships, and hopefully more will come out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talked to John about this, but you had a very very special um, offer or from one of your customers, and not an agency, but a merchant. It was who was it? So, somebody wanted to give you and your wife a vacation after
That's
it's all said and done, because of what you were able to do for him as a business owner throughout all this. Something like they were gonna send you to the Bahamas, right, or something.
right. Yeah, that was
I'm jealous.
yeah, that's my good man Dean. So shout out to
Dean
Dean.
over at BB Wheels, right?
That's correct.
Yes, absolutely. And you did some incredible stuff for him on Facebook, and a lot of the things he said. You create an award-winning strategy for him every single day. And obviously, I think it's a testament because you just mentioned, you said the word culture, which I love that you said, because I want to know, and I'm sure everybody wants to know out there. And obviously, I've been saying this a lot. We're a people-first company, but I don't want to go out and just, I want to hear from you. Tell everybody what our culture really is like over at Sales and Orders.
It's phenomenal, right? So something that people need to understand about me and my background, my professional background, is that I've never had a culture like Sales and Orders. And
What is your professional background outside of search engine marketing? Tell everybody, because I didn't get to say it yet.
right. So I used to be an accountant, right? I was in the accounting space, and it's a very different vibe, as you would imagine, from what.
No, not the accountant thing. The other thing that you do.
So I am Well, I used to be a Muay Thai fighter, right?
Woo!
Fighter. So, um,
Bows and elbows, baby.
so that's those days are gone. Maybe. I might come
Ancient
back.
history. I tell you something. My stepdad and you are probably the two top people I would never want to run into in a dark alley. Incredible, absolutely. But
All fighters are kind people, man.
we are. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Martial arts is not about fighting. Is it about peace and inner centers? Um, I remember I grew up doing martial arts. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
But
encourage everyone. Now is a good time to start, utilizing Zoom and then all
yeah,
these.
yeah. Yeah,
Now's
my son, we were doing karate lessons on YouTube, and I'm watching it. It's like it's bringing back all these memories of going through. Because I mean, I studied Taekwondo and Jeet Kune Do primarily, some karate, judo, and wrestling, and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, obviously. But um, it's crazy what we're finding on YouTube these days, what we can actually watch and learn. I didn't even think about it. Obviously, it was always there, right? But it's times like these that suddenly we're finding those very interesting things to do, especially with our kids, I guess, you know?
Right, and I believe it's exploding because obviously martial arts is brick and mortars, right? So
Right.
and because of that, I imagine that the space has kind of changed for the uncertainty of the future. So people are really heading to Zoom and any conferencing and channels to host these classes, and it's been working well for the most part that I'm seeing from my friends and family who own certain gyms and stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
But going back to our culture, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
go back to culture, man. I'm sorry. We went on a tangent, but I had everybody has to know that like this man is a lethal weapon with a big ass heart.
thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. But like I said, I mean, the culture is everything to me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the culture, and the biggest thing that I loved about the culture, honestly, it was actually you that I remember inside of our kitchen. So the first time that I interviewed, it was a second interview with Greg and Brian, right? The owners and the founders of the company. So I'm sitting in the room, and these guys, I'm like, oh wow, they seem so cool. Like, are they really the founders? Like, because I never had that vibe, right?
Right,
So I
right.
had the interview with them. We're joking, laughing, asked specific questions, and then Brian specifically said, "Hey, man, this was a great chat. I knew within the first few minutes that we were going to hire you right off the bat, right?" So I was like, "Oh, cool. Does this mean I get the job?" But Brian specifically walked me around the office at that time, and then into the kitchen. And I remember you and Juby being there, snacking on whatever you guys are snacking on. He offered me anything I wanted. Hey, we have all this in the fridge.
Right.
Do you want? And it was a full catered spread there at that time.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
oh, wow. But then, I said no thanks, and hopefully I get the job.
Well, that was the kicker back then. So we still do. We do Friday lunches for everybody. You could cater Friday lunches for everybody, but we were trying to do them every day, and it was hard because we would have to switch between different caterers, and everybody didn't want necessarily what was we were getting that day, or they wanted. So we just we switched up. So people loved going out and like, stepping out of the office, go out of the office, get their own lunch, or bring their own lunch. A lot of people bring and love, like Julie and I especially love to cook, and we love experimenting and bringing cool stuff into the office to try out. But that was the kicker back then. I knew anybody who I knew had a fantastic interview and I knew was going to get hired that day was invited to have lunch. It's like, you got to walk in and see everything like that. That's really cool. I don't remember that, but I'm glad that I'm glad I had some kind of impact.
Right.
It would have been funny because you would have like, oh, that's awesome conversation with Greg, and then that jerk in the kitchen, Tony. What is his problem?
I actually,
I really did want to work here, but
and I just felt the vibe, everyone, and I remember seeing everyone in the open space. So I was like, oh wow, like I see that there's a lot of collaboration here. I saw the boards and I saw everything. Everything was out in the open, which is, as you can understand, is not everyone has that, right?
Right.
And I want people and our listeners to understand how detrimental that is to what we do, and it's like a big family, right? We show up to work, and I actually laugh. I actually laugh more in the first day at Sales and Orders than some jobs I had in the full year. So that to me is very, up here, and it's good morale, I would say,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Now,
And,
go
and
ahead.
just
What? No, go ahead.
what we stand for, like Greg always says, we're a people first company, and we truly are, right? So in the beginning, I'm like, okay, because I'm from Queens, New York, right? So I have a very suspicious nature to me, right? So I'm saying, okay, what do these guys really mean by that, right? And the facts are there. Like, they do right by our merchants, our clients, our customers. We do everything possible to 10 times these, these
Every relationship, partners, agencies, you nailed it. It really is.
premium. Even you, Scott. Shout out to Scott and our support team, who
Yeah,
handles that. I mean,
frontline fighters as well. I mean, at least in the respect of what we're working with, full live chat team running
correct.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Where they're really in the trenches for us,
Right.
as kind of you are as well.
Right. So anyone from the enterprise level guys, all the way down to our freemium players, right? They all get the same amount of respect and attention that they deserve, right? And I value that because my father was a business owner as well. So I always think about him and say, hey, if he was on our platform, would he be getting the attention, and how would I
Hmm.
treat my father, right? Same
Hmm.
way. And everyone in our CS team has that same value. So, that's a part of our culture.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been living it for, I started working with Brian and Greg back in 2014, and there are a few legacies still left. Myself, John Combs, John Franco, Ed Apana, our head of support. And being able to, like, I guess for me especially, I think what I've loved is being able to watch everybody, all the obviously everybody else that I didn't get to grow up with necessarily, but I have over the course of the past couple of years of being able to get to see such amazing and talented people just walking through the doors and come in every day and really fight for people, not necessarily whether it's a merchant or a customer, but we fight for each other. We fight for our partners. We fight for obviously our customers, but we also fight for each other. You know, we we stand arm in arm, and we're collaborative. We work together. And it's fantastic. I love the atmosphere in the office. I think it's probably one of the most endearing things about going in every day.
Right. I mean, it's the collaborative vibe that I get. Right.
Hmm.
I can turn around and ask for something and get an answer in 2 seconds. Right.
Yep.
And no one's withholding anything. So anyone who's, like you said, they're very talented, right? Intelligent. So anything that I need to learn, just get up and ask. And even if I take it to Brian, and Brian is he'll let you know anything on his mind. That's
Yep.
it's
Oh,
coming
yes, yes, yes.
from the top. You walk through the door, and even Greg's office, you walk into that door, anything you need to know, he's open to have that conversation with you. And how many companies can say that, right? That door is open. The
It's
open
true.
door policy.
Absolutely true.
So it's amazing. Our space is amazing, truly amazing.
Can't disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
So I know that you have some incredible mental fortitude, and I've seen you work. I've seen you interact with customers and partners. But I've also seen you um, just the way that you work. You have a tendency to use a standing desk more so than not. Um, just kind of like a wrap up on what are your techniques or your tips for working from home or working in this type of environment. What kind of things do you think people, I mean, in our space, so many people working from home, really, and you have such a good work ethic, and you have such a fine approach to how you do it. Are there any like top tips that you could share for working from home?
Right. So I would say try to isolate yourself in a single area, where you can actually just get things done. Right. For instance, I'm fortunate enough to have this office built in when I bought this house, but a secluded space
Right. No,
where.
some of it, yeah, and some of us have to use an old kitchen.
Right. So I would say utilizing a specific space. So it's like it's like you're going to work, you know, whereas if I'm sitting on the couch, I can get distracted, or if I'm sitting in my bedroom, there's too many distractions. But if I'm coming down here, I know that, okay, I have an agenda for the day, right? The second thing that I do is I literally write down my agenda of what needs to be done, right? Because psychologically, I understand that there's something about writing something down that you have to do that's it ingrains in your, you know, your
Yes,
mind.
yes,
Having it
proven.
accomplished. So that's one thing I like to do, and just stay focused, right? Outside of that, I know that a job needs to be done. Responsiveness is key. And now I don't have a standing desk because this is built into a wall.
I'm sorry, sir.
But,
No,
that,
I'm just kidding. I have my standing desk.
right. I would say that's
Just
important
go.
because
Oh, you have a built-in?
yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Your office looks really nice.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
We were actually thinking about knocking this thing down to open it up, but now that I'm using it, I just have to.
Right.
Right.
Seemed like a good idea at first, but when you had to start working from home and keep the kids on the other side of the wall, right?
Is anyone back there? Hey, get out of there!
You just get a flying Sakuraba kick coming in from one of the kids.
Yep.
Get it all the time, you know. It's natural, it's normal. I mean, literally, if you walk just 2 feet over here, you hit my son's room, and then a few feet down the hallway, you then hit my other son's room, and then me and my wife's room down over here. So I mean, it's always and the greatest thing is every time especially when I'm doing these videos and I'm trying to work, I'm doing calls or anything like that, and I get a text message from my wife and says, "Shh, the baby's sleeping." How's it going now?
Yep.
I didn't mean to do that, you know. But it's such as life, you know. So we have found ways to adapt. We have found ways to. Some of us have had. I mean, and I've been trying to work from home a little bit more. Recently, like I started this year, I really kind of started working from home more. And obviously it gives me a place that I can focus almost 100% of my time on. And I'm really like if I'm not 100% or I'm not 200% inside my work, I'm not in it. I'm really not. I'm not in that flow. You know what I mean? And this space allows me to do that, and having fewer distractions certainly helps. But yeah, I mean, like, can't forget about it.
Right.
So what are your kids doing right now? What's back there? What's that house thing?
Oh, that was a gift that it's like a little tent, a spaceship tent that leads.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we have a Thomas the Tank Engine tent.
Right. A ball pit. It leads to a ball pit.
Nice. Yeah, we have one of those like accordion tubes, like tunnels that the kids run through and like that. Oh, can't forget about it. Yeah, once the weather cleans up nice, it's gonna get nice around here. I think we'll be able to find people start going out. And you just moved too.
Correct.
Oh, you were in Queens and now you moved and you bought a wonderful, beautiful house.
Yeah,
and
it's very different. It's amazing. Yeah.
The little bit of change of pace, right?
Yeah.
And you were like 5 minutes away from the office now.
Yeah. So I'm very close. I mean, the biggest thing is just it's so quiet, right? So when we first moved into the house, I'm like, hey, it's too quiet. Like, what's strange here, you know? So I wasn't really used to that, but now, you know, I value it. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur, I have had an absolutely fantastic time chatting with you today. I mean, it's weird and it's fun at the same time. I've been talking to everybody and I'm so used to seeing you guys. It's awkward, but it's nice to see that you're doing well. You look great again. I'm really happy to hear that the family's doing well. Obviously, mad props to your wife, one of our frontline fighters over at St. Mary's. Again, I mentioned this last time, you know, we're trying to support some of our charities, some of our GoFundMes. I know it was in our last video. I'm going to put those links back down in the other videos. You know, American Food Fund. We're trying to support SUNY Downstate. If there's a link for anything going on at St. Mary's, please send that over to me, Arthur. I'm going to pop that in so people can check it, take a look at what we're doing over here. And you know what? Honestly, I've been telling everybody, you know, stay healthy, stay safe, you know, remain informed. Do you have any final parting words for everybody, Arthur?
Just take this for, what it is we will get through it. And, as long as we stay together, we're all in it together. That's what I want to leave out with, right? So we will get through it, guys.
Awesome. Love it. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Everybody, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing these a lot more often. I got a couple more coming up. I know I'm going to be interviewing Brian probably sometime today. More exciting that we're actually starting to work with some of our partners and our agency partners. Next week they're joining me, and we're going to be diving really into their experiences with their customers. So I'm really excited to keep this rolling. All right, everybody, you'll have a wonderful one. Arthur, you have a great rest of your day.
You as well, Tony. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. And all right, have a good one, everyone.